Hello everybody and welcome back down the creek. Today we're going to be talking about these three items, a screwdriver, a pen, and a stick, how they pertain to each other in fishing, and how to get rid of those items to make yourself more efficient and getting yourself ready for a day on the water. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be pretty awesome. I hope everybody had a great holiday. I know we did here. And we also took the time to put together a list of recommended products. By following the link on all of our recommended products, which are in the description below, and will be in the description on any future videos, you can see a list of products that I use every day and that I recommend. Also, if you use that link, it will help out the channel, it'll help us grow, and be able to send us on possibly new adventures in the future. So make sure you use those links, guys, and help grow this channel. We've done a great job in 2019, and I'm really hoping that we blow it out of the water here in 2020. Okay guys, so today's video is sponsored by PLUSINNO. They've sent me products in the past and they sent me a new product today to check out. And this product is going to eliminate these three items from my tackle arsenal. Now we'll get into that in a second. I also have done a review for PLUSINNO in the past on a fishing rod rack. It holds 6 rods and it was actually very good quality. So if you want to check out that video, I'll put a link here in the description. You can check it out. Okay guys, so let's talk about these three items. Can you guess what they have in common? Do you know what they're used for in fishing? I'm willing to bet that most people have used one of these three items to spool a fishing reel. You get your little buddy to hold this here, another person across the way. I've done that since I was a kid. I've always used those methods. Okay, so I picked up this Optics 30 used, and it had some line on it, and the line's actually in pretty good quality. It is some braid, and for those people that don't fish with a lot of braid, at least on a spinning reel, I believe it's the same on a casting reel, but I don't use a whole lot of casting reels, that if you don't put a mono or a fluoro or some sort of backer on braid, it tends to slip off the spool. And that's exactly what happened with this reel. When I first started playing with it, the spool was slipping and the braid was coming off of the spool without anything spinning. And the last thing you want when you've got the fish of a lifetime on is to have line slip. So we are going to be taking off this old braid and putting on this mono. I use Cajun line. It's by Zebco, and I love this stuff. I use it pretty much exclusively for mono. I do fish with a lot of mono. I don't fish a lot of deep water. I enjoy mono. I grew up on mono. That's what I use. So I believe that this link is in my recommended products description. If it is not, I will add it for this video's purpose. I use 8-pound tests pretty much for everything, at least the types of fishing that I do. I do have some heavier stuff and some lighter stuff, but 8-pound test is the go-to for me. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is, I said that we're going to get rid of the stick, the pen, and the screwdriver, so we don't need those. So PLUSINNO sent me this product. They are a sponsor for today, and it's a line spooler. And we're going to be taking a look at it and doing a little review, and we're going to see how it does with spooling new line onto this rod. Now this line spooler will also take line off, but in all reality, unfortunately, I do not have a old spool. I pretty much get rid of them because I never had a need to keep an old spool. But now that I have this, I will be keeping an old spool handy to use for spooling line off. Normally what I use is a Gatorade bottle rigged up with the screw through the lid and a drill. I didn't even bring that in with me today, so I'll be doing this the old-fashioned way by taking it off by hand. So, taking this out of the box, it's made of carbon fiber. It seems to be built pretty well. This sells for just about right under $50. They do have a cheaper model, but the one they sent me is around $50, and it's actually built pretty well. I think that if I had one complaint, the shank here that is used for holding the spool isn't quite straight. So you get a little wobble, but I don't think it's a big deal. I'm sure I get some wobble on my spool when I use a screwdriver. So basically, to put this together, you get your main unit and you take your screw and you're going to screw this into the wheel here, and you're going to do that by holding this handle. It's basically like a reel. So you do have drag, so you can set your tension on your spooling, how much you have here, and then this will also reel line off. Okay, so we're going to be using this table. I'm going to adjust the camera angle now so that you guys can see better what I'm doing here. So be right back. Alright, now that's better. So basically this is the main part, and it has these two little buttons you can hold, and it opens this clamp up. So then you're going to take the clamp it to a table, and it allows you to screw it tight. So now this unit is mounted onto my table. And the next step, I'm going to lose stuff, is taking all the little bits and hopefully not losing stuff like I just tried to do. There we go. And it comes with 4 of these pieces for holding the spool, a screw for holding the spool, this little post, and you have, it's almost like a rod. So we're going to set that part up next. So essentially this is what holds the reel. There's a hole back here with a screw. Put this through like this. Screw that on tight. And then you're going to put your, what looks like a fishing rod handle through here, and then you're going to straighten it out and tighten this screw. Now you're almost ready to go. So I've got that now. Looking at it so far, like I said, this isn't very straight, so it wobbles, but it's only a slight wobble. This wobbles a little bit too. Tighten that up. I don't think that just because there's a little bit of wobble in there, it's going to matter much. So the next thing we want to do is we want to set our spool in a first piece you put on here with the narrow piece facing this direction. Then we are going to slide our spool on, and as you see here, the narrow piece goes in the hole in the middle of the spool and kind of holds it steady. So then you're going to stick another narrow piece now with the narrow piece facing that direction, and it's going to really pick that spool up. So then we tighten it all together. There we go. Now this will allow you to take line off and add line on with tension. Now you adjust your tension via this piece right here, so you have tension, and as I screw this, it slows it down and adds more tension. So depending on how much real tension you want when you put your line on. is right there. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the line off of this reel. I am not going to make you watch all that, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I now have the line off of the spool, and it's a good thing that we changed it. See if you can tell on camera, but there's different colors there. Some of it's lighter, some of it's darker, and the lighter stuff is degraded line, so it's actually a good thing that we did change it. So now we're going to be prepping this reel to get some new line here. And for being used, it runs really nice. It was really well taken care of. It's in really good shape. It's been maintained and oiled. And I got it like super cheap. I only paid a couple bucks for it. It's got 3 bearings, and I think they're only like $20 or $30 in the store anyway. But it's totally worth it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to get this all hooked up and ready to go. And then I'm not going to make you watch all that because it just basically screws on here like it would any fishing pole. Once I get this ready to go, I will bring you right back. Okay, now so I have my reel installed on here. It's all one piece. And I want this to kind of be straight in line. So we're going to adjust this over a hair by this, adjusting this piece that holds the fishing rod handle type end. So that's about right in the center. Flip open the bail, and if we look at the way this spins, the action goes this direction. So I use a clinch knot or a surgeon's loop style clinch knot to attach my mono. And the reason I do that is because the harder something pulls on it, the tighter it grips the spool. So to do that, I fold the line over, I make 2 loops in a single loop. I put the single loop through the double loop, just like a surgeon's loop, and then there. Then you're going to snip the tag end. Don't use your teeth, boys and girls. You only get one set of choppers. Do as I say, not as I do. We're going to flip open the bail, and then we're going to take the line and put it through the loop. So here's our goal. When the string is going around the spool, we want it to be tightening so that it goes on this direction. Pull it tight. Flip the bail, and as I put tension on here, oh, we gotta watch, we're getting, put a few little wraps in there. Okay, so I had some line get tangled up in here. I took it off, I fixed it. Now we're dead center and we're tight. I've set the drag button here, which is kind of like a baitcaster drag. We're gonna see how it does for line tension. So I want to loosen it a hair. Loosen it a hair more. That's what we want. Alright, so we're rocking and rolling. I'm going to keep going. Now I'm using my hand to support the reel in the handle, and I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to wind up. Now normally I would use some real magic on this line, but I'm going to try a different trick that someone told me about, and we'll see how it works. So I'm going to spool this up. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so we're pretty much lined up, and I noticed a few things while I was doing this. So pros, it's easy to use. I like that you can adjust the spool tension when you're lining. As you see, as I'm reeling, as soon as I stop, it stops. It doesn't run away, you don't get any backlash, and the line goes very tight onto the spool. What I don't like is I use more or less spinning reels, and I don't like that I have to spool it upside down. I almost wish this piece came up and there was another hole for you to put this setup in to allow you to turn the spinning reel the right side down, and you weren't doing it upside down, because then everything's backwards. But a bait casting reel would work just fine. I think that the part of having the ability to use it to take line off reels is absolutely awesome. And I'm going to be using that as soon as I get an empty spool to put garbage fishing line on. It'll be neater than having a big mess. Overall, this product I think is definitely worth the money. It's like $49 to $50 on Amazon. I'll make sure I add a link down in the description for this. Matter of fact, I'm going to add this to my recommended products because I do really enjoy it. I think it's well thought out because it has the ability to take line off a reel as well. But some of the features I wish they would have done a little different. I wish they would have made it a little more flexible and a little more comfortable to use, because using the reel upside down isn't ideal, but it's better than using something like this. I like that I can do it by myself. I don't need help to get it the way that I want it, and I think it really did a good job of putting the line on here straight, so I think I'm going to have minimum line twist, but we're still going to do something for line memory. What you do for line memory is I'm going to take this spool off, I'm going to run it under hot faucet water for a few minutes, and it's going to help the mono take the memory of the spool that it's on now instead of the spool that it came from. All in all, I give this product a thumbs up. I think it's worth the purchase. I would have bought it myself even though they sent it to me. I've been wanting to get something like this, so when they gave me the opportunity to check theirs out, I jumped on it. And I'm really happy that I did. I would recommend this to a friend, and I'm definitely recommending this to all of you guys out there. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about this, make sure you leave them in the comments. Check it out yourself, and I think this will do a lot for saving a lot of people time and effort and hassle when they're getting themselves ready. But all in all, I definitely would recommend this product. It's really cool. It's actually built pretty well. The polymer it's built out of, it's pretty tough. It looks like it's going to last me for a long time, and I'm fairly happy with it. I'm glad they sent it to me, and you know what? I hope you guys really check it out if you're looking into a line spooler. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you check my recommended products below. You check out the link for this PLUSINNO line spooler. And remember, guys, get out and live. Catch you next time.